Welcome to your home for the best in unfiltered NBA talk. This is Below the Hardwood. I'm your host, Ryan Antonio Henry, sitting here with the squad, the homies, the compadres, the team. Hi, sir, who are you?
Dexter. Hi, Nikki.
Just come on the show. Just come on the show already, please.
Oh.
You.
What's up? It's Alan Shane, aka Mr. Roll Up the Win to Win. Didn't even say the sentence right, but I said it.
And to my right, we welcome back two esteemed,
Just say guest, dude.
guests.
Classics.
Guests.
That
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. All right. Two
Friends.
esteemed guests. Sir, who are you?
Duane Watson. Sometimes less is more, my friend.
Yeah.
Learn from that.
I was more than back and forth. It always starts. And to his right,
The entrepreneurionaire, Wall Street, Will Strickland, aka Mrs. CID, consider it done.
finished. Mic drop. It's over. And we are here to talk the best in the NBA, as we always do. So, you know what? Let's get right into it. My question, the very first question I'm going to ask you guys is the Cavs. The best team in the East right now? As J.R. Smith once said, this is actually the best team he's ever played for. These guys have come out of the gates since the trade, since the deadline, since All-Star break, and they're looking like the best team in the league, some would say. So I'm going to start it off with our guests, the Cavs. What have they done to improve their roster? What have they done to, take the reins in the Eastern Conference and possibly?
Is this a real question?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, first, J.R. Smith's never really been a good team. Even the Nuggets team wasn't that good.
No.
But I know you know what they did. Like, obviously that big trade with Mozgov and J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert was key. But before the season started, they were already pegged. Everyone was waiting for them to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. So I'm not really that surprised. Of course, I'm going to throw the alley to Will because I know LeBron James is going to come to the conversation.
How can he not come up in the conversation? You hear that shark music, dun, dun, he's coming. You know what's happening, right? He's played much better since his 2-week hiatus. And with the Mozgov trade, and Iman Shumpert, and J.R. Smith is playing out of his mind right now. But I think that Kevin Love, once he buys in, because they talked about him fitting out instead of fitting in, if he fits in, it's a wrap in the East, and we know that. So, it's almost speaking for itself.
Well, the Cavs, since the trade, they're 26-6. They look really, really good. Mozgov, I think they're going to keep Mozgov and get rid of Kevin Love. I think that's what's going to happen next year. I don't think they can keep Kevin Love. They've been resting him games, and he doesn't look like he fits in.
Why won't they keep Kevin Love?
Because they have Mozgov. They can get someone else. They can get someone like Draymond Green and fit him in next year.
No, Kevin Love, I think he's going to be there.
I don't know if he likes it there. I think he might go to Lakers.
I think Kevin Love recognizes what position he's in and like, what he's on the cusp of history and what's going on.
Chris Bosh already told him in the first place that you would be the guy that have to sacrifice the most. Now, he doesn't have as round of a game as Chris Bosh does. He can't play defense. Some of the things that Chris Bosh did in Miami, you don't see another 4 in the league that is doing that based on the way that Miami played, based on the way that Cleveland plays. Kevin Love has to have some energy on defense. He doesn't play defense. Chris Bosh at least played defense.
I still can't get over the fact that Mozgov is the answer, not Kevin Love.
Well, no,
Like,
the difference is having a rim protector in the middle.
Oh no, I agree what he brings to this team, but in terms of like, oh, we can let go of Kevin Love because we have Mozgov.
Nah, you're reaching, bro. I don't even buy into that.
If they get Draymond Green.
I think the most
If Draymond Green's not coming to Cleveland.
Real quick,
I think the most overlooked thing that people aren't realizing is J.R. Smith and what he's become, that catch and shoot player that we know he is. Because basically the gravity scenario that's going on with the Cleveland Cavaliers is awesome. The ball is being forced to either Kyrie's in the corner or LeBron, and you're passing around. So J.R. Smith is actually left open for a lot of shots.
real quick, do the Cavs actually get out of the Eastern Conference? Are they the Eastern Conference champions this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think when it comes
Over Atlanta.
once
That's a really easy question.
Yeah, I'm saying like in a 7-game series, like
man.
it's one thing. It's one
Easy
thing for them to
bake,
play a
as Will
one-off
would say.
and Atlanta win a one-off, but over a 7-game series, this is not Hoosiers. This is not March Madness. The cream of the crop always rises. And if you have a team that has 2 guys who can go out and score 90 points, like the Cavs did against the Spurs, this is the Spurs, not the Spurs light, then it's a wrap.
And think about it too, they did that without necessarily a lot of production from Kevin Love. That team, if just 2 people are clicking, it's kind of dangerous.
They don't need Kevin Love.
Moving on, we're taking this out into the Western Conference. Out west, we have Russell Westbrook, who is dominating the league, dominating his opponents, 9 triple-doubles this season alone. My question is, does this make Kevin Durant expandable? Is Kevin Durant in 2016 going to still be with on the team?
I don't know if he eats more, he can expand a little bit. What do you think?
I think Kevin Durant's obviously going to be there. I think because what happened with James Harden, you're not going to see the front office. They're not going to make a quick move like that. They're not just going to get rid of him and just rely on Russell Westbrook. What he's doing now is awesome because he's good with the pick and roll option, and he's doing it a lot more. And now I think the best thing you can look to with his triple doubles is who he's now passing to on the top high pick and rolls. You have Mitch McGary who's playing a lot better, not Steven Adams, Steven Adams is out, and then also Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter is a way better ball handler, a ball shooter around him. This is a better rim shot than I'd say Steven Adams or even Kendrick Perkins.
This guy looks like a basketball mind today. I'm with this guy.
You like, I read the questions.
I know. Yo, Westbrook's playing phenomenal basketball, but they're not really winning games.
Right.
So, I mean,
They're beating sub-500 teams.
yeah, you get rid of Kevin Durant, you got a guy with great stat lines, but they're not winning, and that's what's all about.
Yeah, if you're beating non-playoff teams in the West, it looks good. The numbers are inflated. I call it empty calorie stats. If you don't win as a result and beat the teams you need to beat, then, that's a problem for me. So it looks good, but and it's not to discount how he's played because you can't take that away from him.
When you say the last
But
person
when you're
is Jordan,
struggling for the playoffs and trying to make the playoffs, and you're in 8th place, you have to beat those teams in the West to make them believe that you can be a real threat to them without Durant. It's Russell Westbrook and the gang.
But I think you think without Serge Ibaka now, you think Russell Westbrook can keep this up and keep them in?
I mean, he can still play well, but
He's going to get his numbers.
these guys aren't a scary bottom seed anymore.
Yeah, he can go like 8 for 35 in the game and go to the line 20 times, and you say, ooh, he had 45, but they lost by 30.
Real quick, is Durant still with the Thunder in 2016?
Kevin Durant. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's a good question. I really think it depends on how well his foot is. If he's healing, it's okay. We'll see, but I mean, you can't. He's still the MVP of the league. He's still one of the top 3 best players in the league. So you don't get rid of that guy that easily.
No, and you know what? If they test drive him in training camp and he plays at all, if he has any sores next year, it'll be a year that foot is like that. Sam Presti's going to press the button and try to find the right trade for him, like maybe to Toronto.
Don't get flying now. I don't know. You don't worry.
Just saying.
I think Kevin Durant. I think people in the media have like short-term memory.
Like yourself, you're in the media.
Like me. Short-term memory.
Moving on to Toronto, as Will just said, the Raptors. It's been pretty bad. 11 out of 15 losses, 41-28 record that looked a lot. We had better days. So my question is, have they already kind of just like lost? Like, is the playoffs is it the throw? Like, do we care? Are they going to win? Like,
We have to
lose. Like,
we have to care. This is Toronto. This is our team. We bought into the We the North thing, so we got to stick with them. Try and true.
I think they got
Chicago.
hyped up last year.
Yeah.
Way too much. Everyone's expecting 50 wins this year. Is that like we're still rebuilding?
But no, wait, they had 48 wins last year.
Or-
2 more wins is not excessive in terms of picking. I'm thinking that.
Yeah, but we're still
fan.
building, right?
Yeah,
Are we
but
not
2
still
more.
building?
Yeah, but 2 more wins is growth. No. So
Yeah,
so
but
48
we're
wins is
also
okay?
the East is getting better. Is it not? Is it
No,
better than
it's
last year?
worse. It's worse.
It's not.
Well, no.
It's a lot worse.
Than last year?
You're asking questions there. That's all.
Last year was bad. Last year was bad.
Yeah, this year's a lot worse.
Listen, the question is, do the Raptors care? Because I don't know if I see that care and desire on the floor from these guys in terms of like everything we saw in the first half of the season, the offense, the team camaraderie, 1 through 9 and stuff, whatever. I don't see it.
They had a soft schedule too, and they went out and they smacked teams in the mouth that they should have smacked them out.
But
they surprised a couple of teams, Memphis early. But the second half of the season, if they're already looking to the real season, which is the playoffs, they're missing the whole boat of this whole thing, the whole process of going through growing as a unit. Okay, we got a taste of the playoffs last year. We want more this year. But you can't do that until you take care of the business in front of you, and they haven't done that so far.
Well, they have 13 games left. They only have 2 above 500 teams left. And I think it's a good way to end it off and get the wins. They could still reach 50.
Well, the biggest problem is that this team isn't. In the first half of the season, they're smacking teams that they're supposed to. Second half, they're not. They're barely being through like Minnesota, like the worst
Sixers?
teams.
Oh my.
You know what I mean? So it's like the fact that they can't take their business with the bad teams scares me with how they're going to play against the good teams. It only gets better in the playoffs.
so possible I think they'll get back by the first round.
It
When
depends
you
who
meet
they
up
play.
with Chicago or
Washington.
Atlanta.
just want Milwaukee. That's all I want.
If they play Chicago in the first round, they would not beat Chicago, whether they have Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose or not.
Or
I
Washington.
just don't feel they can beat Washington. Washington's one of the oldest teams in the league.
Paul Pierce is our kryptonite.
Yeah,
But they're still they're on the deceleration of the season as well too.
Can they beat Milwaukee?
You know
I
what?
think we could beat
Milwaukee is trying to plot and plan to play Toronto because Jason Kidd knows he has a long, young,
Did he call you
athletic
up? Did he
team.
call you say hey?
Yeah, he did.
not a
He made
dream.
a whole
But
basketball.
are you a fan of their midseason moves? I think that kind of ruined their chemistry with the point guard there. Now you kind of get rid of Brandon Knight, who was kind of budding in that situation. I don't
Brandon Wright can hold off. We got Patrice in the Forum Barbershop.
What's up, guys? NBA playoff draw. Both halves, Eastern Western Conference. In the Eastern Conference, you got Indiana, you got Boston Celtics, you got the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, no Chris Bosh, don't believe in them. They're not going to make it. Boston Celtics had no idea that you'd be in the playoff picture. Can't name 5 guys in the squad besides Kelly Olynyk. Can you? Now, Indiana Pacers. Best team in the NBA since the All-Star break. Paul George, stay at home. Don't bother come back out. It doesn't make sense. And if you're not in championship contention, stay at home. Rest your legs. Now, in the Western Conference, we got 2 teams. We got OKC, we got New Orleans. New Orleans doing a great job. But OKC, no Serge Ibaka, no Kevin Durant. When they get back, they will lock up the 8th seed and they will play GSW first round. OKC will beat GSW, but they will not beat the San Antonio Spurs. All roads lead through San Antonio. The championship goes through San An.
That was another barbershop talk with Patrice. Thank you, Patrice. And we are back to talk. Well, Steve Nash came out just yesterday in the Players Tribune and has announced his retirement. Sent shockwaves through the basketball world. All over Twitter, players, former coaches, executives even have all said something about Steve Nash and what he has done for the game. I want a sentence from each one of you guys. What has Steve Nash provided for you personally, or the league as a whole?
Nothing for me personally, but at the end he did the ski mask way, no ransom, no.
Yeah.
You have to elaborate a bit about that.
Retire as a Laker.
Oh, well, he stole that money when he went to LA. He stole money.
Retire
The
as a
ski
Laker.
mask way, no ransom, no.
You know, did hockey is his term, which I hate in basketball? Did that start with Steve Nash?
Probably so because they had to like make it seem
Canadian
like
correlation. Exactly.
Yeah.
He actually did kind of do something for me because if it wasn't for Steve Nash, Canadian media wouldn't focus on Canadian basketball in general as a whole. So I mean, he elevated the game in a sense. But I mean, best Canadian player to ever live in shoes, man. Period.
Unless you're talking about Bill Winnie.
Which I'm probably not talking about.
Okay.
Robert Sacre.
McCullough.
I'm proud to be Canadian, and it paved the way for Canadian basketball. You can see Andrew Wiggins, you can see Robert Sacre, boy, and they're doing big. He's on the Lakers as well.
With Kobe.
Shout out.
Steve Nash, he made assist sexy, he made cerebral sexy, he made seeing the play, he plays ahead sexy. So good for him.
Sex sells.
Us.
What about you?
For me, I became a Dallas Mavericks fan. That's where it all started.
I knew it!
Short Canadian kid, and him and his relationship with Dirk and how they lived in the awkward kids. Nobody gave a crap about them in the league. They were getting booed off the court night in, night out, and they found a way to make it work. And
I don't
he
think
made-
more than show, more than one
offensive,
sentence.
That's what made me a Dallas Mavericks fan. That's what made me a Dallas Mavericks fan. If it wasn't for Steve Nash, I probably wouldn't have discovered the
So
Mavericks.
it wasn't about Roy Tarpley or Mark McGuire?
You're like, but thank you for Steve. Thank you, Steve, for all that he has given us in the league. So this is 24 seconds of FaceTime. It's 24 second shot clock time. Talk about anything in the league. I don't think we've done this with you guys. So this, of course, you guys can say whatever you want, whatever you feel. This is all about you.
Home draft.
24 seconds.
In numbers.
I'm just here because I don't want to lose my job.
We'll stick to this bitch.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's an elephant in the room.
Yes.
Am I the clock's on? Elephant in the room. basketball's been going on. Talks about basketball versus one-on-one in Boulder Harbor. Over almost a year now.
More than that. Like I said, they could have done a prison term.
Just step
right
up,
in the
man.
amount of
Let's end
time.
this stuff because you know what's gonna happen.
We're giving you time to practice.
You need more than that.
This sounds like Pacquiao versus Mayweather.
Yeah,
and you already know who's gonna win.
Pacquiao.
No money.
So the 24 seconds have broken down into a bunch of trash talking. Do you guys have anything to say? Do you have a 24?
My 24 is going to be about Paul George. Don't play this year. Why are you trying to ruin your career? Don't play. You're going to ruin, like, Pacers are in 7th or 8th right now. You're going to ruin that chemistry. Whatever chemistry they have. And just don't return. You don't want to end your career like a Derrick Rose or a Brandon Roy. Right?
My 24-second shot class about Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think in that year, 16, when it's like the new CBA, I think they're gonna. A lot of teams will be able to throw money at Kevin Durant, so there is a possibility of him leaving. I like to see how everyone in OKC is talking about how like he's not for sale, they're not moving him, it's preposterous. But everyone in the media is like, it might actually happen. They gave away their future to bring in Dion Waiters and all these players, so I think they actually have to bring back Kevin Durant to remain relevant.
Kevin Wayne Durant.
Nobody's paying attention.
I gave you that.
My 24 is I am up for true seeding. I really want to eliminate the last two teams in the Eastern Conference who get in the playoffs with below 500 records. I think it's crap. I think teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder or Pelicans, they actually deserve to be in the playoffs. They're exciting. People who care about him. They're above 500, and it would just make the league more competitive as a whole. And maybe taking away their seeds would make the Eastern Conference a little bit more competitive. Maybe get a couple more wins out of them. So I'm up for true seeds.
Stop complaining, enjoy the Eastern Conference team. That's all we gotta do if you want to make the playoffs.
That was another edition. I would like to thank, men to my right, Will Strickland, Duane Watson from TSN 1050's One-on-One, and Mr. Hoop Club Tio. Yes. All right, you can check that out. Of course, they're producing stuff all the time that we apparently can't talk about. So stay tuned for that. But
Watch
thank
last
you.
episode.
Anything else from you guys?
Dexter_BTH.
Alan Shane, aka at Brooklyn's Nicest.
At R.A. Henry.
Are we fonted?
Are you fun to? You will be fun to.
I don't have to say anything. Let's go with this.
You like Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air all grown up. Shoes and a hat that hurts.
That's right.
Who's Will Smith?
The guy who's the same age as you. You know that guy?
No, Will's older than I, man.